welcome back to the channel. This week we travel to Dorset to kick off our bank holiday weekend. We arrived quite late at a farm campsite that doesn't take bookings. It's really close to the final destination that we want to visit tomorrow, which is the lost village of Tyneham.
But for now, let's show you where we're staying tonight. This is Steepleleith campsite, and it's made up of, I think it's about 4 fields, or it feels like more, and they are literally just big fields. If you look behind me, and it's pretty busy, more and more are arriving. Now the facilities are pretty basic, to say the least, and probably wasn't my best choice, but we have parked right next to the just behind me there, the composting toilet. So each of the fields has its very own composting toilet in the corner. Yeah, probably not the best decision to park next to that, but, and there is a big but, they don't really want motorhomes here. So I spoke to I presume he was the owner. He came around and took the money, because I saw it on Park for Night, and 100% in the pictures on Park for Night, it's got motorhomes. I think there's a big tag axle in one of the pictures, but when you get close, there's a big sign saying no camper vans and no motorhomes. So I thought, okay, but then you look in the field and there's quite a few. So we parked up, and when the guy came, he comes around on a quad bike to take the money. And I asked him, are we allowed to stay? And he said, look, I don't really promote it because motorhomes keep getting stuck. So when we leave, you'll see the entrance we came in, people either ground out, or if it's wet, just get stuck and can't get out. So they don't promote motorhomes coming here, but if you arrive, they let you stay. There is also, by the farmhouse, some more facilities. So you know me, I like to use the showers whenever we go anywhere. So let's head off and check them out. Which one do we fancy? Let's take this one. Is there a light in here? Let's give it a go. I'm going to be honest, that was actually a pretty good shower. Could have done with the light being on. Don't know who's vandalised that, but as showers go, that's up there. It was decent. Now I have heard some little sheep noises coming from in here. Hello? 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 Do you think I've got food? Oh, hang on, easy tiger. What are you doing? You're keen. What? Oh, what's going on over here? What are you three doing? What are you three doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Don't let Dora see you. She'll be taking you home with her.
The rural campsite facilities are simple, but that's part of the charm of staying on a working farm. You're surrounded by rolling fields, farm animals and peace and quiet. It costs just £8 per person per night to stay here, and it's cash only. There are several routes to take to walk directly to Tyneham village or to the coast from the campsite. So whilst I made dinner, Ricky thought he'd go off and explore.
So apparently up the top of this, what is turning out to be quite a steep hill, is an absolutely stunning bay. But it's quite a bit steeper than I imagined it was going to be, and I'm almost at the top now. Look, there's not that much further to go, so we'll carry on. I think this is almost it now. I'm pretty sure once I get up there, I'm going to have made it. Damn. I was convinced I'd get up here and everything would open up right before me, but it's another field. Okay, let's keep going. We've got this far. We'll head, I think, for that gate over there.
A little while later.
So it's really quite easy to see from up here that we're over in that field over there, and just how high I am. But I'm almost there now, and I've got to tell you, it is roasting. And here we are. That is Kimmeridge Bay, part of the Jurassic coastline, right in front of us. How stunning is that? Anyway, Dora's going to think or hope that I've run off, so let's make our way back. Good morning from what is promised to be the hottest weekend of the year. We're down in Dorset. I've got the crew of Kevin and Perry with me this weekend.
I've got to be sun safe. It's very hot this weekend.
So it is what it is. We're currently on Steepleleys Farm campsite. Now, I did a little bit of a tour yesterday. We've discovered that just a few miles, literally a few miles down the road, is the UK's only abandoned village. But, and there's a big but, I need to try and get off this.
Talking about me?
Not this time, no. I need to get off this campsite. Now, this campsite does not really recommend motorhomes for the simple reason that everyone keeps getting stuck getting in and out. It might be tight. So let's get off the campsite.
It's easy for you to say.
It is easy for me to say. Is that the plan?
Yeah, if we get down the narrow roads, because it was squeaky bum time last night getting here. I don't think we should have got on the road. I mean, to be fair, there was no weight limit on the road we took in here, but it was scary. And I was on the side next to the drop.
Right, we need to get going. Let's go.
I'm the designated spotter, whilst Ricky tries to get out of this gate. And also there's a rounders match going on, so we've got to be careful. There's a car coming. Be all right, actually. This angle's fine. That was easy.
Piece of cake. Piece of cake.
Do you use the Camos?
If I could just quickly show you. Not sure the camera will pick it up, but having the Camos system showing the 3D top-down image of the van really helped. It's a great system, and if you haven't got Camos or don't know about it, look them up, Camos UK, because it's amazing.
Can anyone spot the problem here?
It was at this moment that he knew. He f***ed up.
Now, I only clocked the no motorhome sign as we passed it. By this point, we were committed. In our defence, the local farmer had advised us that the Tyneham village car park was really big and we'd have no issues parking the motorhome there if we got there early. So we thought no more of it. Tensions grew as we proceeded down the hill towards Tyneham. The road did seem to be getting narrower and narrower. But luckily, Ricky's a really confident driver, but not so confident that he wanted to back up the hill if he didn't have to. So we pushed on. We were rewarded for our stupidity with yet more amazing views, and there were passing places should we have met any oncoming traffic, which we didn't. As we finally reached the abandoned village, it felt like stepping back in time. So we've been told that there's a nice big car park. We shouldn't have any trouble parking here. That's by the campsite owner. So fingers crossed. Oh yeah, there's loads of space. And we're getting flagged over. It was at this point we were expecting to be told off. But actually it was quite the opposite. That's a big
Sorry, we just thought, as we'd gone past the sign, we saw it said no motorhomes at the top.
Yeah,
Sorry.
people do anyway.
It says, I thought it was I wasn't sure if it was lorries or
It's
motorhomes.
narrow, that's why we advise not to, but people
Okay.
do. You can go down in that shadowy corner down there if you want. Do you need it to be fairly flat or not?
No, ready parking up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You can go down in that bottom corner in the shade if you want.
Perfect. That's lovely.
Because there is timbers on the floor, so
Amazing.
don't drive into them. But
Lovely.
yeah, go right up
Perfect.
to them, but
Yeah.
don't drive
Thank you. Thank you.
The nice big car park has a suggested donation of £4, which you can only make when you've got a signal because it's via the Just Park app. Dorset's Lost Village was evacuated in December 1943 during World War II and has been deserted ever since. The area was needed for military training, and after the war ended, the villagers thought they were going to be allowed back, but they never were. The village remains part of the Armoured Fighting Vehicles Gunnery School. Therefore, for operational and safety reasons, access to the area is restricted to specific times.
Wow. Look at that bad boy.
This is the K1 box, and this was the first standard phone box between 1921 and 1927.
Wow.
Just next to the telephone box is the shepherd's hut, which we're in now. This is where the Lucas family lived with their 10 children. 10. And the wife of the family, who was called Jane, she also was a bit of a nurse and looked after everybody in the village. Not trained, but apparently she was very good at it.
Go Jane.
Go Jane. We're now at number 3 The Row, and this was the post office where the Driscoll family lived.
This is number 1, and this was the schoolhouse, home of the teachers Anne Fry, Nora Woodman, Malvina Pritchard and Leona Hearn. This one feels quite spacious. This is Tyneham National School. The children who attended school here did so between the years of 1856 and 1932, which on one hand doesn't seem that long ago, but on the other hand, it was before cars, before electricity, all the things we take for granted now. And Dora was just telling me this reminds her of her first school. So now I'm wondering if she remembers an age before electricity and cars and things like that. But ask her in the comments, does Dora remember the world as it was before electricity? Also, just thought I would join in with Dora in the Kevin and Perry theme for today. That's what we've come as. Come on, Dora, come. Where's yours?
I don't need it inside.
Do you
Look,
not?
I'm not tall enough. I don't need it
Because
inside.
your hat's miss it.
Don't mock. It's gun safety. And also, no, I'm not 100 years old, am I?
Well. Does anybody else remember going to school and having your name by your peg? Obviously I don't, but I'm just asking if anyone else does. Dora, do you remember? Do you remember that?
I do, and so did our children.
How did you see where your peg was if you didn't have electricity and if it was dark?
You're such a moron.
Look at this beauty. What we saying, tree fans?
Don't encourage him, please. We're now at the rectory, and this was once quite a grand building, but there was a serious error when they built the roof. It was far too shallow a pitch. So every year it would leak, water would come pouring in and they'd have to repair it, and so on every year. And funds were pretty tight, and they couldn't afford to pay for a pony and trap to take them to Wareham for supplies. So the rector's wife, along with all the ladies in the village, would walk with their babies in their perambulators to Wareham, which is about 12 miles away, and they'd come back with all their household supplies on top of the babies in their prams. Really made of tough stuff back in the day. Ricky,
Yes.
you know you love trees so much.
I do actually love a tree. Who doesn't?
And then there's some wicked trees around here. I'll grant you that.
Thank you.
I dare you to go and swing on this vine. That looks like an absolutely epic tree to swing on a vine.
Which vine?
This one here.
You know what I would do? I've got the wrong trainers on.
You've got the wrong trainers
Yeah,
on.
I've not got my tree swinging trainers on.
What?
My
what's
swinging
trainers got to do with
trainers.
swinging? Your feet will be off the ground.
Yeah, but not to start with. Also, have you seen those stinging nettles?
Yeah. Brings me back to my youth. In fact, you've got a good story about stinging nettles from your youth, haven't you?
Not for public.
Okay, if you see him privately at a show, ask him. But I'm sure there's plenty of dock leaves around here, so
I don't think there is.
there's one there.
Where?
Yeah, dock leaves.
Well, that's not the biggest one I've ever seen.
No, there's loads though. Wherever you find stinging nettles, you'll be sure to find a dock leaf.
This is absolutely tree heaven. And you know what? I can't help but feel a bit reminded of when I was young. I don't know if it's because back then we had more like grass and stinging nettles, and I don't know, or maybe it's because I just don't go out and play much anymore. But either way, it does just remind me of being a kid. And I don't know why. It's literally like we stepped back in time. Right in the heart of the village, as is often the case, is the church. And I have to say, this is by far in the best state of repair from all the buildings here.
So Tyneham Church was built first in 1297, though I think there's been some amendments since then. And the last person to get married here was Sylvia House in 1943, just before the village was evacuated.
Behind us here is the gardener's cottage, and this was occupied by the Gould family, and they were here right until the very end when everyone got evacuated, obviously thinking they were going to be coming back. But by 1947, the government made it absolutely crystal clear they had no intention of giving the land back to anybody. They were keeping it as a training location because it was just far too valuable for them. So the residents that had been evacuated then started campaigning that went on for over 20 years before they gave up and realised it just wasn't going to happen.
That's really sad.
Behind me is the laundry house. Interestingly, this was the only property in the village that had running water. Everyone else had to go and collect theirs from a well that was close to the church.
Also, apparently, this was the most pleasantest, and I'm quoting, pleasantest spot in the village. Sheltered, near the high street, but slightly away from all the hustle and bustle. Still close to the church as well.
Make sure you start using the word pleasantest from now on. It's getting quite complicated now as to who lived where, with who and when. This is the Gwyll cottage. Now what we've learned is, what have we learned?
We've learnt that at some point, Alice married a wellman who lived here, and Alice was the daughter of Shepherd Lucas, who lived over there.
And somebody had come here as a woodman for the Bond family. He then got promoted.
No, he didn't.
No, he did.
No, he came here because the Gould who moved from here to the gardener's cottage because he got promoted.
someone got promoted to head gardener and went to the gardener's cottage, and then basically someone else moved in here. Is that what we're saying?
Do you know what? It's like an OK Magazine episode, but of the circa 1900s.
For a small village, this is getting very complicated. Here's another house, basically. It's quite a big house as well. Yeah. If you know, lived here, let us know. We can't work it out. It's too complicated.
So we've just come across to Tyneham farm, and there's a big history barn with a stage in there and an old thing. What do you call them?
I didn't know you were a farmer.
Yeah, a thing that you pull a cart in there. And then there's this, which isn't an original example from the area, but it's a black barn, and it was used to store the seeds for the following season, and it was put onto these mushroom-shaped pedestals so that rodents couldn't climb up and eat the seed. It's a very, very clever design. We've had a pit stop back at the van. We've had a cup of tea.
Thank you very much.
I've made some sandwiches because I'm really looking forward to a picnic.
Before that, though, you've got a 20-minute walk in that direction because you're taking me to...
I don't know how you pronounce it. Worbarrow Beach.
That's where we're going.
Going there.
Come on, Kev. Let's do it. Worbarrow Bay. Now the car park is absolutely rammo now, absolutely rammed, but there weren't that many people really looking around the abandoned village, but I think I know why, because there's lots of people heading this way down to, what are you saying, how's it said? Worbarrow Bay. So we're quite excited to see what this is all about, and of course in my backpack is lunch, which I'm also excited for, so 20 minutes this way, here we come. What are you doing?
You know, making sure.
This is why everything takes us so long. What's that arm doing? Well, he's got a gun and you're trying to...
What's a gun?
Right, in the comments, please, is this a gun?
No, it's a sleeve in his hand.
It's a firing range, that's his gun. It's his gun, right, come on.
It's sleeve in his hand.
It's gonna take us forever. It's a special sleeve. Right, come on. No, we're not going backwards. Debating whether that's his gun or his sleeve. It's his gun. Please, in the comments, are you team gun or team sleeve? Let us know. Now what are you doing?
This one.
What, so between now and then, you're going to impersonate every sign, are you? Wow. Oh, I don't mind telling you. She is hot today. Hot, hot, hot. That's not a complaint, by the way. Oh wow, that's a view, isn't it? So we've definitely feels like we're almost there, but look at that for a view.
In this weather, you could be in Ibiza.
I mean, you could be. Dora's just getting the lunch out, and it's not a bad view at all for lunch, if I do say so myself. This is Worbarrow Bay, and this coastal hamlet was also evacuated in 1943 along with the residents in Tyneham. And like those guys, they never returned. It was never handed back. Oh, cheers. That's us, all fed and watered, and we need to start making our way back up to the van. Hopefully, not too many impressions of signs on the way, so we can get back to the van much quicker than we got down here. Just make sure I've got everything. And that's the bay behind me, look. Not the worst place in the world to have your lunch, is it?
We've made it back to the car park and I've just noticed some signs for Purbeck ice cream. So there's a little stand called the Salt Pig. We're full up after our sandwiches and our strawberries. So I'm going to head back to the van now and see what Ricky's up to. Better go and find somewhere to stay tonight, haven't we?
So we need to get out of this car park, which is looking pretty full, if I do say so myself, and then go and find a park up. Hope you've enjoyed the vlog. If you're interested in coming to have a look round, Dora will put the what 3 words in the description or on the screen. She'll put it somewhere, and we'll see you next time. We can't work it out. It's too complicated.
It was the Wellmans and then it was the Grants. And Mr. Wellman married the shepherd's daughter, but then it was the Grants. But then when were the Goulds here then?
I don't know.
That conflicts with what?
You know what? I need a cup of coffee. It's getting too much now. I need a coffee.